And we're back again. We just keep on coming. Up next was definitely a fun affair, but it wasn't one that I was dying to see. It was Edge and Rey versus Judgment Day. That rhymes, so that means it's good. Well, let's talk about it. Edge and Rey, what was cool was, and I got to stop using the adjective cool, but it's the only one I've got today in my book. I mean, in my, in my pocket. I just keep pulling it out. I'm all over the place, and I'm very sorry. But this is what you're getting, because I'm just trying to get to the main event. But, yes. So Edge and Rey all day, every day, twice on Sunday. No. They were SmackDown Tag Team Champions once upon a time. Really good back in the era of the SmackDown 6, where nobody could do any wrong. I highly suggest you go back and watch any show from that era. Was really good. So that you got a little bit of the reuniting with them, and then you had Judgment Day. I love Finn. Always been a fan. Anytime you can spotlight him and not make him look like an absolute doof, I'm great. Damian Priest has really slowly won me over. He's gone from me teasingly calling him Nightwolf to still calling him Nightwolf, but liking him more. So, yeah. And then you had the X Factor of Rhea Ripley, who's great in her role. She really holds her own, not just as a woman in that role, but she's just a badass and a force, and you believe that she can back these guys up. And then you had everyone's favorite, and at least not mine, Dominic, Rey Mysterio's son. You know, this kid, listen, he had a great showing against Seth Rollins way back once upon a time, way back in the far, far reaches of COVID. He had a great showing. But he needs more seasoning. First of all, his character work needs more seasoning. And the dude needs some body work. He's very doughy around the midsection. Like, dude, you're in the WWE. Get to a gym. Go to Planet Fitness. Work out on the plane. Whatever you got to do. That being said. So, Edge. This wasn't a match as much of an Edge head as I am. This wasn't a match that I was extremely looking forward to. I wasn't, on paper, I was like, okay, Edge versus the Judgment Day. I'm kind of over this feud. I get it. I like how they turned on him. I thought it was a little premature, but I did like where the story evolved. And you got the master coming back to teach the students and yada, yada, yada. Well, it's Edge and Rey. They're both Hall of Fame caliber. Edge is a Hall of Famer. Rey Mysterio, he's going to get there. Do you think you're going to get shitty work rate from them? Absolutely not. It wasn't a spot fest, but it was right where it needed to be. Finn, always on point, and Nightwolf does really, really good too. So it was a lot of action, you know, wondering when you're going to hit the 619. We even saw Edge hit a very poor 619. They called it a 519, which I thought was hilarious. Corey Graves, my brother, you do your job. And I was, you know, interested to see where it was going. But the writing was all on the wall. You could see through bad acting, and you knew that somehow, some way, Dominic Mysterio was going to be a factor, and not for the good. And I was like, let's just see what happens. You knew he was going to basically cost them the match and whatnot, and that's what I thought. See, what happens when you think and you don't know, sometimes you get surprised. And I was shockingly surprised. Through the match, back and forth, it was very serviceable. Edge and Rey beat Judgment Day. And I like saying it. It's got a nice ring. They beat them. They actually beat them, and I was a little surprised. But you could tell immediately after the mood was about to change, Shades of Taz, that Dominic had, you know, a kid at Toys R Us who wasn't getting his way look on his face, and he was mad. The story was that the commentators were trying to convey that, you know, Dominic had developed some kind of jealousy because Rey throws Edge over him to take this fight, but it's like, fight fire with napalm, guy. Of course your dad's going to take the Hall of Famer. Like, come on. It's like saying, hey, do you want to pick Zack Ryder or Hulk Hogan? Like, let's think about this. No disrespect to the broski. Matt Cardona, I love you. You're a good toy collector. My spiritual animal in toy collecting. But we're talking wrestling here. So, yeah. Anyways, get back to my long-winded point. After the match, the obvious happened. Dominic Mysterio, you know, they went in for the group hug, the family solidarity and everything, and wham, kick to the groin, kick to the giblets, knocked Edge right down. And then, of course, Rey pleading with his son, staring up at him with big doughy eyes, and wham, him too. Big clothesline. And it would have had more, would have had a little bit more oomph if Dominic Mysterio didn't walk out of the ring and try to Hulk Hogan his shirt off and rip it off to show his all-impressive no physique. Yeah, all the shitting I'm doing on this, it came out really well. I think Dominic is so unlikable, at least in my eyes, that he's going to make a natural heel because he got booed like he was the opposing rugby team in that stadium. He got booed to absolute shit. So the move was right. We'll see where it goes. I'm not a fan of them dragging this out. I don't know how much longer they can do. I think Dominic needs to stand on his own, but we're going to see. Edge is there. It's a fantastic time to see him. The crowd was firmly in awe of him. I like how he came out with the luchador mask as like a show of, you know, teamship with him and Rey and Lineage, and, you know, that they're one against a really solid tag team. And I thought that was neat. But with all that aside, Edge, some of the luster of his return, it's no longer new, has worn off. These are coming off as guest spot appearances. I hope he wrestles more so we can get rid of that. Sorry about the car in the background, but I am outside on a beautiful summer eve. So, that being said, looking down at this, I'm changing my rankings a lot tonight. I ranked this as a 3. It had amazing tag team sequences. It had great action. It had good pacing. But now when I'm looking at it against the body of work that I've just previously reviewed, I do have to knock this down a peg. So it's not a 3. I'm going to give it, just like Liv, a 2 point. You know what? No. Yeah, I'm giving it a 2.5. That's where I stand, a 2.5 count. And you guys can fight me on this.